The Temporal Conspiracy, Doctor Who, James Bond, and Indiana Jones unite. It began in a scorching Egyptian desert at an excavation site buzzing with activity. Dr. Henry Indiana Jones Jr. carefully unearthed an artifact from the sand. The metallic object, shaped like an obelisk but inscribed with glowing symbols, was unlike anything he'd ever encountered. "This is incredible," Indy muttered, wiping his brow. His usual confidence was tinged with unease. This find didn't belong to any known ancient civilization. It pulsed faintly, as though alive. His thoughts were interrupted by the low rumble of engines. Black SUVs sped across the dunes, raising clouds of dust. Indy's heart sank as armed men poured out, clearly not locals. He hastily tucked the artifact into his satchel and bolted as bullets kicked up sand around him. Enter the Doctor. While Indy dodged gunfire, far above the Earth, the TARDIS spun through the time vortex. Inside, the Fourth Doctor was grinning at the console, his eyes sparkling with curiosity. His sonic screwdriver had picked up a peculiar temporal signature in Egypt, something alien and very dangerous. "Anomalies like this don't just pop up for tea," the Doctor said, flipping switches. "Let's see what all the fuss is about." Moments later, the TARDIS materialized in the middle of the chaos. Indiana Jones, pinned behind a crumbling wall, watched in disbelief as the blue police box appeared out of thin air. The door swung open, and the Doctor stepped out, all enthusiasm and eccentricity. "Hello. You must be the chap with the shiny alien thing," the Doctor said, waving his sonic screwdriver. "Need a hand?" A narrow escape. Indy barely had time to process what was happening before the Doctor buzzed his sonic screwdriver at the soldiers' weapons, causing them to jam. Seizing the opportunity, Indy whipped one of the men's guns out of his hand while the Doctor pulled him toward the TARDIS. "What is this thing?" Indy demanded as they tumbled inside the impossibly large interior. "The TARDIS," the Doctor replied. "Time and relative dimension in space. She's my ship." "And who are you?" "Indiana Jones. Archaeologist." "Brilliant," the Doctor exclaimed. "Love a good archaeologist. Now, let's have a look at that artifact." Bond's mission. Meanwhile, in London, James Bond sat across from M in her office. She slid a dossier across the desk. "This is Magnus Crawl. Intelligence suggests he's planning something catastrophic." Bond flipped through the file, his brow furrowing. Crawl was a reclusive billionaire with ties to rogue scientists and paramilitary groups. His latest obsession? A device known as the temporal refractor, capable of rewriting history. "We've tracked the final piece of the refractor to Egypt," M continued. "Secure it, 007. The fate of the world may depend on it." A chance meeting in Cairo. Bond arrived in Cairo, his impeccable suit slightly rumpled from the heat. Following leads, he traced the artifact to an eccentric.